What is up, everybody? This is Charisma. In this video, we're going to talk about what is the best champion to use and ranked. But before we get into that, please hit that like, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100K, and I need your guys' help. I can't do it by myself, so please help me out, and let's get into this video. So the way how a big part of this that I'm going to determine which champion to use is we're kind of look off the top 50 list and see like what champion they use, and that can kind of give you a rough estimate of potential champions that you might want to use when playing ranked. Maybe you're new, maybe you're more just intermediate. If you're already super pro top 10, you're not going to necessarily need to hear this unless you want to confirm what you already know. But if you're just more in that new bracket and such, and you're like, I don't know what champion to play, well, you came to the right video. So if we go over to not clan, if we go over to game modes and we go to ranked, and we go to leaderboards, we'll start at the bottom 50, and we'll just kind of get a rough estimate here. So, and these ranks change a lot. Like, I was like 30th yesterday, now I'm like 94th because I haven't played in like almost a day. So these ranks will change pretty frequently. At least the top, at least from rank 50 to like 30 will change frequently. But once you get into the top 20, it doesn't really change dramatically, because once you get up in the 900s, it's really hard to play a lot of games because there's only like, you know, there's a lot more, but there's only like, you know, what is it, 44 people in the 900s now, which that's not a lot when there's thousands and thousands of people. So let's go look at this. So we have Saito, and typically when we go right here, if we go to the default, that means they probably just got into the top 50 and it hasn't updated yet. There's no one that's using just a default no, you know, champion, no abilities at all and getting the top 50. If you are, you're just super cracked out of your mind, because you need abilities in this game that can help save you when you mess up or catch you off guard, you know. So let's go to number 48. We have Dan1240 with Saito, and there he's almost in diamond. And then we have noob_way99 with Saito. Now this is where it gets interesting. And we have Kaney, if I said that wrong, my bad. But he has a Koju, which is really interesting because you don't really see a lot of Kojus in the top 50. He might be the only one. There might be one other person that uses a Koju, but we'll see. Number 45, we have Jupiter, and he's a Lufus, which is another one that's like another rare one. You don't really see a lot. You don't see a lot of Lufuses in the top 50. And then if we go to 44th, we got WSS bot with Saito. We have Choberti right there. Choberti, shout out to him. He did really well in the last tournament. Saito, and then Firecracker with Kilo. And then Don't Best Speed, Saito. LOL. KEK is Saito. Tens OZ, Saito. And then now we have another Koju. This is really interesting. We have two people in the Kojus, which I'm not going to like say like Koju is like, I'm not going to say that Koju is bad. He's just maybe not the most optimal for ranked. But if you do really well with him, maybe he applies to your kind of playstyle a little bit. Yeah, Koju can work out. And then now we got like a good list right here. We got Kale, we got Best Green, and we got Zed, and they all using Kilo. And at the end of this video, I'll kind of give you my two thoughts of which, you know, two champions you should use, and maybe one over the other, maybe just depending on your playstyle. But let's go over to 34. We have Indigo with Saito. We have Mate. We have Saito. And then we have Fear Nasty with another Kilo. And then we actually have a second Lufus in the top 50. That's really interesting. He's in the diamond too. So there is those rare people that like they can use champions that are not as optimal as other ones, but still do really good competitively. It just depends who you are in your playstyle. LK James is Saito. Yo Boy is Saito. King of the Saito. Rux is Saito. So a lot of Saitos now. Yesterday it was a lot more Kilo than Saito, but now it's starting to shift a little bit. We have Kuro at Kilo, and then once we crack into the top 5, it's Saito, Saiter, and now we actually have a Gazo, which is really, you know, I'm not surprised. You got at least get like one Gazo in there. Gazo can be good. It just depends who you are. You have I Am Dance Man, Saito, and this is the most perplexing, is newbie_ER. I just want to see their computer or whatever and be like, you have an auto clicker on? because it says most used champions, so I don't know how dividing his other champions are when playing games. Maybe he played a lot of Jim Toki in the beginning, and then he switched towards later games, and that's why it still says most used champion. But if it was like a 90% he's used his character, that's really good. Maybe he has hacks. I'm just kidding, but you never know. That's just crazy. Lucky with the Kilo, and then we got a bunch of Saitos cracking in the top 20. Bunch of Saitos, Bright Core, Saito, King Pluto, Saito, and then BB Saito. And then we starting again to Kilo, and then another Saito, and then we hit the top 10. We're going to see what the top 10 is like. And we have another Kilo, and we have a Saito, and then at number 8 we have a Koju. Again, I would want to know their statistics on the most used, because playing, like I said before, up until they hit into like the 700, 800, 900 elo, they could be using a different, they could be using Koju for the most part, and then start switching to other characters in the harder bracket. Because if you're in the easy bracket, like a 300 elo, you could use Foxero and dominate. So number 7, we got Nebula with Saito, and then we got Sakuku with Saito. Makes sense. We got Akka with Toho Kai. That's interesting. This is the Akka. When I watched them in the tournaments and such, they use mostly Gazo, but now it's Toho Kai, which is really interesting. I have not seen that. But I'm not surprised. Akka is just really good at the game. Akka could use most characters and plays really well. And then we got Backfist at Saito, Return at Saito. And then we have Scott. Oh, shout out to him. Saito, he's number 2. And then we got Wedgie Gravies, and he's number 1 with Saito. So it seems like it's like 60%, 70% Saito. Let's go back down and kind of count a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 32, let's see if we do the math right here. If we do 32 divided by 50, because I can't do it off the top of my head, and I know it's over like 50% by 50, 64%. So almost 2/3 of the top 50 people are using Saito. And then if we go to like Kilo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 out of 50, which is about 18%. So almost 20%, 1 out of 5 are using Kilo, and then the rest is like a little bit of Koju, Luffus, 1 Jimtoki, Gazo. Yeah, you get fill in the rest. So if you do 64 plus 18, was that like 82? Like 82%. Of the top 50 is either Saito or Kilo, which makes sense. Now, let me give you my thoughts on this. It's pretty simple. You can either play Saito or Kilo as your best chances, but depending on your play style, this will matter. If you're really good at deflecting ball and reaction time, and it's in chaotic, and you don't have to rely on your abilities as much, then I would say Saito. Saito has 3 defensive abilities, and then he has his jump, which can help in certain situations. And as long as you're good with reaction and fighting and such, Saito will do cool. If you're more like me, where you play more defensive and kind of strategically kind of get a kill when you can, and play more on placement heavy, a little bit more on that side, I would say Kilo, because Kilo has 4 abilities that can either stop the ball, either auto deflect, or change the ball to go to someone else. If you go to Zap Freeze, the Kilo's first ability, can stop the ball and it'll go towards someone else. Godspeed will give you 1, make you faster and get 1 auto deflect. Assassin Invisibility will make the ball go towards someone else and not at you for 3 seconds. And then the Lightning Intercept will also auto deflect. So you have 4 abilities that can stop the ball or make it go towards someone else, which in that sense, like, you really need in the competition, because once it gets super chaotic and you're going against a bunch of people, like, you might use 3 of your abilities, and then that last ability can really help you. That's what I've learned with Saito, is I'm not as good with getting kills and deflecting as good. So I'll use my 3 abilities, and my only ability is, like, for a moment, is the jump ability, and that can help, and it has helped me, but it is it doesn't give me a higher like chance compared to Kilo. Now, to be fair, I haven't used Kilo in competition, but just by looking at his abilities and such, and just seeing people in tournaments and that's my overall thoughts on that. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys want me to do other videos, please comment down. Let me know if you made it to the end of the video, and I appreciate you all.